They say that if you walk long enough with a heavy heart, the city begins to change. The streets you knew by heart start to bend. The familiar sounds of traffic fade into a hum that vibrates in your chest. You aren't lost, not exactly. You are being found. You've spent years chasing a ghost. You've chased the promotion, the perfect partner, the body, the status, the feeling of finally being enough. But every time you reached out to touch it, it turned to smoke. You were tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep can fix, but the kind that settles into your bones. And then you see it. It sits between a laundromat and a bank. A shop with no windows. A sign above the door in a language you can't read, yet you understand perfectly. It says, everything you have ever wanted. You expect a bell to ring when you walk in. It doesn't. You expect a clerk to greet you. They don't. Instead, the door clicks shut behind you, and the world goes silent. You aren't in a shop. You are in a hallway that stretches into an impossible distance. And the walls are made of glass. You walk. To your left, the first mirror catches your eye. But it doesn't show you as you are now. It shows you at 7 years old, holding a drawing you were so proud of, waiting for a father who was too busy to look. You see the exact moment the light in those young eyes flickered and died. You see the birth of the lie you've carried ever since. My work isn't good enough. I am not good enough. You try to look away, but the next mirror is already waiting. It shows you at 20, walking away from the only person who ever truly saw you, because you were too afraid they'd find out you were hollow inside. You see the faces of every version of yourself you ever invented just to survive a conversation. The funny you, the professional you, the tough you. The hallway feels tighter now. The air is thick with the scent of old paper and ozone. You realize the shop isn't selling items yet. It's stripping you of your armor. You cannot buy the future while you are still wearing the heavy, rusted costume of your past. Ask yourself, how much of your life have you spent performing for an audience that isn't even watching? You reach a section of the hall where the mirrors turn silver and cold. These aren't memories. These are the almosts. You see a version of yourself who took the risk, who started the business, who wrote the book, who said, I love you first. That version of you looks radiant. They look alive. But as you press your hand against the glass, the image cracks. Why? Because that version of you didn't exist for you. It existed for the envy of others. The shopkeeper's voice finally echoes in the hall, though you see no one. It's a voice like grinding stones and soft silk. Most people come here asking for the fruit, the voice says. They want the success mirror to become their reality. But they don't realize that the man in the mirror is a stranger. You are chasing a version of success that someone else defined for you. You stop walking. Your heart is hammering. You realize the shop of everything you want is a trap for the ego. If you choose the wrong thing here, you will spend the rest of your life living in a beautiful cage. The mirrors end. You stand in a small, circular room. No more reflections. No more ghosts. Just you. On the table is a bowl. Inside the bowl are thousands of seeds. They all look identical. Small, brown, dry, and dead. Pick one, the voice whispers. How do you choose? One seed is a life of quiet peace. One is a life of world-changing impact. One is a life of deep, creative expression. But they aren't labeled. This is the secret they never told you about motivation. Motivation isn't a feeling that hits you like lightning. Motivation is the decision to pick up a seed and decide what it. You don't find your purpose. You build it. You reach into the bowl. Your fingers tremble. You aren't picking a thing. You are picking a commitment. You are saying, I will take this small, insignificant thing, and I will give it my life until it becomes something real. As you walk back out the wooden door, the shop disappears behind you. The street is loud again. People are rushing. No one notices you. But your hand is closed. Inside your palm is a single seed. It's not $1 million. It's not a trophy. It's a beginning. Chapter 1 is over. You have survived the mirrors. You have faced the ghosts. You have chosen your seed. But now comes the part where most people fail. Because now, you have to find a place to plant it. And the ground? The ground is harder than you think. The morning air feels different when you're carrying a secret. You walk through the same streets, past the same coffee shops and the same tired faces, But the world looks like a movie set that's lost its color. In your pocket, your fingers are curled around the seed. It's small, hard, and silent. You expected it to feel like power. You expected to feel a surge of energy, a sign that the universe was finally on your side. But as the hours pass, the seed just feels heavy. This is the part they don't tell you about starting over. They tell you about the vision. They tell you about the destination. But they never mention the weight of the transition. You find yourself back at your front door, the place that's seen every one of your failures. You look at your life, the stacks of mail, the half-finished projects, the habits that have kept you comfortable but stagnant. And suddenly, you hear that voice again, not from a shop in a foggy alley, but from the quietest corner of your own mind. You cannot plant a new garden while you are still clinging to the dead leaves of last year. You realize then that the seed wasn't a gift. It was a contract. And today, the payment is due. You sit at your kitchen table, the seed placed in front of you like a judge. To make room for what this seed will become, something else has to die. This is the currency of scars. You see, the universe doesn't take gold or silver. It takes the things you're afraid to let go of. It takes your ego. It takes your excuses. It takes the you that you've used as a shield for 20 years. You think about your friends, the ones who only call you when they want to complain about how unfair life is. You realize that to grow this seed, you have to stop watering their negativity. That's a scar. You think about the comfort of your distractions, the endless scrolling, the numbing entertainment, the way you hide from your own thoughts. To give this seed your time, you have to kill your comfort. That's another scar. You start to feel a cold shiver of regret. It was easier when you were just unlucky. It was easier when you could blame the world for your lack of progress. But now that you hold the seed, the blame has nowhere to go but inward. You realize that your greatest enemy isn't the person who doubted you or the boss who passed you over. Your greatest enemy is the version of yourself that is terrified of being seen trying. The room feels darker now. You see your scars, not the physical ones, but the ones on your soul. The times you were rejected, the times you were humiliated. For years, you've treated those scars like shameful secrets. You've covered them up, hoping no one would see how damaged you are. But as you stare at the seed, you notice something. A seed only grows when its outer shell breaks. It has to be torn apart from the inside out to let the life escape. It has to be damaged to become a tree. Your scars aren't your weakness. They are the currency you use to pay for your future. Every time you failed, you earned a coin. Every time you were broken, you gained the strength to hold a heavier load. The shopkeeper didn't choose you because you were perfect. He chose you because you had enough scars to afford the price of admission. You stand up and walk to the mirror. You don't see the almosts from the shop. You see the real. You see the wrinkles of worry and the eyes that have seen too much. And for the first time, you don't look away. You realize that you've been waiting for someone to give you permission to be great. But the only person who can give that permission is the one looking back at you in the glass. You take a deep breath. The trade is made. You decide, right here in the silence of your own home, that you are willing to be misunderstood. You are willing to be lonely for a while. You are willing to look like a fool while you learn to be a master. You are willing to let the old you burn so the new you can rise from the ash. The seed doesn't look so heavy anymore. It looks like a key. You put on your coat and walk back out into the world. You aren't looking for the shop anymore. You're looking for a place to dig. You're looking for the dirt. But as you look around, you realize that the world is filled with people who are also carrying seeds, and most of them are too afraid to pay the price to plant them.